friends, you are watching ERUDIRE Plus, the professional CAD/CAM solution provider. Let's get started.
Welcome to the course Modeling and Assembly using Autodesk Fusion 360. This video is regarding introduction of these Autodesk interfaces and also different tabs and different commands, right? This is the logo of Autodesk Inventor, and next line you can see this is known as actually application bar, and in application bar we are having different options. First one is known as data panel. Let us see what is there in data panel, right? If we want to initiate any new project, that can be initiated from here. Excluding that one, if you want to have access to any other existing projects, that can be accessed from here itself, right? So this is required to access different data and to initiate one new project, right? Let us close this one. In this application panel, next to that we are having file menu, and from this file menu we can initiate a new design, and also we can initiate some drawings, and those drawings can be exported and saved from here itself. And if we want, you can capture some images from here itself, right? So this is known as file menu. Next to that we are having save options, and we are having other options as undo and redo, right? And in this panel you can see this one is untitled because we didn't save this project, right? Next line, it is known as actually toolbar. In this toolbar, first one is known as workspace picker, and different workspaces are there. First one is design, the existing one, the default one. We are having some other options also like generative design, rendering, animation, simulation, manufacture, and drawing. Let us see one of them, manufacturing. So if we are changing this toolbar, you can see all the tools are changing accordingly. But generally, in our case, we need to follow this design toolbar. In this design workspace, we are having different tools such as solid, surface, mesh, sheet metal, plastic, and utilities, right? In this coursework, we'll be dealing with solid tool only. And under this solid toolbar, we are having different panels like create, automate, modify, assemble, construct, inspect, and other things, right? These are the different panels. With the different toolbars, we are having the same panels, right? And our concern is about regarding solid and different panels like create, modify, assemble, and construct, right? If you want to go for more, we can have different commands like extrude, revolve, etc. These are the different features to be applied on the different sketches, right? And we are having different options like press, pull, fillet, chamfer, etc. And we'll be showing all these things while providing specific examples, right? And in assembly portion, we'll combine different components using different joints. And if you see construct, in construct mainly we'll be dealing with different types of planes at different locations, right? Down you can see the browser. On the browser we can see different things like untitled one, this is not saved one, and you can see here this one is known as document setting. If you want to change the unit of your drawings, that can be done from here itself. And you can see here default unit is millimeter. If you want to change it, that can be done from here itself. We have set this one as default, that means every time we'll be using this millimeter only. If you want to change it, that can be done by using this drop down menu, but in this case we want to follow only millimeter units, so we are not changing these things, right? Let us cancel it. Next to that we are having some name views like top view, front view, right view, and home. Different name views are available. And next to that you can see the location of origin. It is hidden at this moment, so this is the origin. And under origin also you can see X, Y, Z different axes, and also different planes like X, Y, X, Z, and Y, Z different planes are available, right? Let us hide this one. And down we can see this is known as actually navigation toolbar. If you want to go for panning and also zooming, these things can be done from here itself. And down you can see this is known as actually timeline. Whatever operation we'll be doing in our model or sketch, that will be saved in this timeline. And right side you can see this is known as your cube view, so we can change the orientation from here, front view, top view, side view. That can be done from here itself, right? You can have different views of the drawing from here itself, right? Done. Whenever we are modeling anything, first of all we need to create a sketch, and on that sketch we need to provide some material to give a desired shape, right? First of all we need to create something from this sketch here itself. Whenever we are sketching anything, that should be done on any specific plane. We can select the front view, side view, or top view, anyone, right? Let us select front view. So on that front view only we can draw right now. Whenever the drawing is finished, we can finish the sketch, and next to that we can provide some kind of features to that one. So first of all, we'll see the create options. From here we can see different options are available, like rectangle, circle, etc. Different options are available. Instead of clicking this one as a shortcut of line, you can hit L. That will show the initiation of line, right? Line is initiated or still, like let us click anywhere. This is the line, and the thing is, while this cursor will be moving, you can see the length of that line is also changing. If you go up again, it will show the direction with angle and also the length, right? You can see these things. So we are making the lines in this way. Suppose we made some mistakes while making these lines, we can click this undo option. So it is cancelled, right? Now we'll show the line again. Hit L as a shortcut for line. Suppose we are creating this line. And in engineering drawing, we are having different types of lines. It may be construction line, it may be symmetric line, it may be central line, different types of lines are there. We can construct different types of lines from here. This is known as construction line, and this is known as actually central line. So what you have to do is select that line and click this construction line. You can see construction line is produced. Okay, if you click the line again and select this center line, then we'll get a center line, right? Let us undo it. Suppose you want to make this line a construction line by a shortcut. So what we'll do is select the line again and hit X. It will be considered as a construction line. Okay, right, undo it. So these are the different types of lines. Next to that, we can create rectangle, and for creating rectangle, different options are available, like 2-point rectangles, 3-point rectangle, and also center point rectangle. So what are these things? You can see what it is. 2-point rectangle means select the lower left corner and select the upper left corner. That will produce that rectangle of your desired shape. And again, initially you can sketch anything arbitrarily, and you can provide the smart dimensions later on. So to provide a smart dimension, as a shortcut, you can hit D, then the dimensions can be provided easily, right? This is 12. You can write that one 12 and enter. Similarly, you can provide this dimension also. Suppose this is 10, enter, right? This is one type of rectangle. Second one is known as 3-point rectangle. Let us see what it is. Let us start from here. This is the starting point, this is the second point, and this is the third point. That means we need to provide the length and breadth. This is the initiation of the point, this is the end of the length, this is the end of the breadth. So we are providing 3 points to provide a rectangle, right? Let us undo this one. Now the third option of rectangle, you can see sometimes it may so happen that we need to create a rectangle which is symmetric along x-axis and y-axis, right? So in that case, we need to create that center point rectangle. It will be started with the center point, then you can drag it along horizontal and vertical direction, right? This is known as center point rectangle. So these are the 3 different types of rectangles available, right? Let us undo it. Next to that, we can see what is available. We are having circle. For circle also, we are having different options like center diameter circle, 2-point circle, 3-point circle, etc., right? So these are not that much of important. Mainly we'll be dealing about center point diameter circle. And as a shortcut of this one, we can hit C, or we can click this one, or we can hit C. Anyone can be done. As a shortcut, let us hit C, right? It is generated. Now what we have to do is we have to point the diameter of this one. Let us point diameter of this one as 50. Done. So this is a circle with diameter 50 mm, right? Now things, some other options are available. Let us see. After circle, we're having arcs. 3 different types of arcs are available. That is 3-point arc, center point arc, and tangent arc, right? 3-point arc. For generating 3-point arc, let us make some lines. Hit L as a shortcut for line. This is one line. Suppose we want to make another line, so hit L to produce another line. These are the 2 lines. Now suppose in between the lines, you want to make one arc, right? So what you do is create arc. It may be 3-point arc, it may be center point arc, it may be tangent arc. Let us consider the first 2. First one is 3-point arc. What we'll do is select the first point, then select the second point, and third point can be taken anywhere else as per your requirement, right? Suppose you want to make this tangent. So this is already tangent to this line, right? And next to that, you can provide smart dimension of this one. The diameter of this one can be provided, or radius of this one can be provided. Hit D as a shortcut for smart dimension. We can provide the radius of this one. Let this radius be 14 millimeter. Done. Right. Now another thing can be done, that is 3-point arc. What it is? Let's start from here itself. This is first point, this is second point, and we have to move here as the third point. So the arc is being generated from the center, and next to that we need to initiate the starting point of the arc and also the finishing point of the arc. Again, we can repeat this one. Sometimes you need to provide a semicircle or quarter circle. In that case, we need to provide that center point arc. Suppose here we need to provide one semicircle. What we'll do is we'll initiate the arc from here itself, then select the radius. Suppose the radius is 30 millimeter. Hit 30, enter. Then we can initiate the arc. This is starting point, and you recommend. Suppose this is the finishing point. So 3-point arc is telling about the circle. As per our requirement, it will be initiated from the center point, and next to that we can tell about the starting point of the arc and finishing point of the arc. Right? Let us select all these things by dragging and simple delete. Done. Now let's see what are the other options available here. We are having some other options like polygon. Polygon means you can create some pentagon, hexagon, etc. Let us show one example. We're creating one polygon. This will be circumscribed polygon. It may be inscribed polygon, or it may be edge polygon. Different options are available. Let us show the first one, circumscribed polygon. So first of all, we need to select the center point of that polygon. Now it is asking the radius of that polygon. Let us point the radius of that polygon is 25 millimeter. Done. And we could see that number of side is equal to 6. So it is a hexagon of radius 25 millimeter. Okay. Let us undo it. Next to that, you can see some other options like ellipse, slot. Here are different options are available. Let us see the option of slot. This is very important because in engineering drawing, frequently we need to deal with these slots. And for slots, we are having different options. Most important option is center to center slot and also center point slot. These two slots are very important. Others also we can try later on. First of all, let us see center to center slot. Select this one. This is the starting point of the slot. This is the finishing point of the slot. And see, the radius of the slot is actually changing as per your requirement. We need to select the center of the first semicircle, and this is the center of the second semicircle. Now we need to drag to get the desired radius. Next one, you can see what type of slot is available. This is center point slot. It will be started from the center of this one, then move any specific distance away. This will be considered as the semi-major axis actually. Now we can see this is the starting point, this is the finishing point, and this way you can get the radius of that one. Right? Slots we have shown already. Select all these things and let us delete. Done. Now in create we are having some other options also, like spline is also there, and conic section, point, text, etc., mirror, circular pattern, etc. that will show later on. The text option will show while providing embossing and debossing. Mirror actually to produce the replica of any object on any of the sides. We can use mirror both for a 2D object, even for a 3D object also. Right? In case of a 2D object, we need to create one axis of symmetry, and in case of 3D object, we need to select one plane to consider as a reference of the mirror. And next to that, we are having circular pattern. Circular pattern also it can be done for 2D and 3D in both cases. Let us draw one rectangle here itself. Right? Suppose you want to make an array of different numbers of these rectangles at any specific distance away. That can be done using this pattern, rectangular pattern. That means it will be an array along x direction and y direction. Let us select that object. By double click, we can select all the object. Next to that, it is asking how many numbers of objects to be made, and also it is asking the direction also. Right? You can change the direction by selecting the arrow. Now in this case, it is showing 3 numbers of pattern to be made in x direction. Instead of 3, you can make it 4, 5, etc. as per our requirement. And the distance of that one also can be varied. Suppose you want to make 4 numbers of pattern, and the distance of this one is 58. This one we can change it to as per our requirement. Suppose the distance is actually 75 millimeter. So from here 75 millimeter away, we have made 4 different patterns along x direction. Even we can change the direction to y also. Even with the direction we can change the length also. That is from here 28 millimeter away, we are making this pattern. This is known as rectangular pattern. Okay. So we are not doing this one. Let us cancel these things. Undo it. Now suppose you want to make a circular pattern on this one. So with respect to one central point, this rectangle can be arranged as a circular array. So create circular pattern. Let us select the object, double click it. It will select all the objects. Now it is asking to select the center point. Select it from here. Let us consider this one as the center point. Now how many objects to be patterned this way? Suppose you want to make this one as 12 numbers of patterned. So let us increase the numbers from 4 to 12. Right? So 12 numbers of these rectangles are arranged in the form of circular array in this way. Right? Let us cancel this one. We don't want it. Right? This pattern can be made in 2D and 3D, both cases. Right? What else we are having? We are having project also. That one will show later on. Now the thing is, we can have a lot of constraints also. That means a lot of relations can be applied. Okay. Now what we'll do is to apply this lot of constraints and other things. What can we do is, let us draw some arbitrary sketch. Let us select this one and delete it. Now suppose you are making some arbitrary sketch. This is an arbitrary sketch and you want to make this one a parallelogram. For that, what you have to do is you have to follow some constraints or relations. First of all, this one should be parallel to this one. That can be made. Let us select these lines as parallel. Now these two lines are parallel. Now what we have to do is we have to consider this one and that one as equal. That constraint can be applied from here itself. So what we'll do is select both the lines and apply the constraint of equality. Now see, these two lines are parallel and are equal also. Now it is a parallelogram, right? Some other constraints also can be applied. Suppose you want to make this one coincidence. So what can you do is select the specific corner, this one and this one. Let us select the point of coincidence. So that point is coming down here itself. This is a coincident point. Now suppose you want to make this one symmetric with respect to some line. So what we will do is create one construction line. With respect to that construction line, we have to make this one symmetric. So this is a solid line. Select the line again and hit X to make this one as a construction line. Now to make this one symmetric, what we have to do is select the lines, also the construction line. Now we can apply the relation of symmetric constraint. Now see, these are symmetric with respect to this line, right? These are the different constraints, and also sometimes we can show that concentric circles can be made. As a shortcut for circle, let us hit C. So circle will be generated here. This is one circle. This is one another circle. Suppose you want to make these two circles concentric. In that case, what you have to do is you can select the centers and you can apply the relation of coincident. So these two are actually concentric in this case, right? Let us cancel these things. Delete. Now we'll show some other constraint like tangent, right? So as a shortcut, select C. We're making one circle. Now from any specific line, we want to make this circle a tangent line. Let us hit L as a shortcut for line. We have made any line. Suppose the line will be tangent to the circle. In that case, we need to apply the constraint of tangency. Select the line and also the circle. If you want to select multiple entities, select with control option. Both the entities are selected. We can apply the relation of tangency. Now this line is tangent to the circle, right? These are the different types of constraints available, right? Next to that, we'll show different options of modification. Let us cancel these things and we'll show some examples. Let us delete this one. Suppose you want to make one solid. So for making the solid, we need to create one sketch and that to be extruded to a specific depth to make this one a solid, right? Suppose we are making one rectangle. We made the rectangle arbitrarily. Now we can provide smart dimension to this one. To provide smart dimension, let us hit D. Now we can put the dimension of this one. Suppose this one is 200 millimeter and this one is 150 millimeter. And the thing is, suppose you want to make this point to be coincident at this location. So what we'll do is select the specific points and make this one coincident. Done. Right? You can see the drawing is fully black. That means all the dimensions are fully defined. If the sketch is not fully defined, we should not go for applying different features to that one. As the sketch is fully defined, so we can finish the sketch. Right? Now we can apply different features to this one. So the features actually solid, then also we can see revolve. Different options are available. Let us see what are the options available. You can see extrude, revolve, sweep, etc. Different options are available. Extrude means we can provide some material to this sketch. Start extrude. It is asking to select the object. The specific area is selected. Now we have different options like profile plane. That is, from this plane itself we can provide the depth of extrusion, or we can offset this one also. But generally 90% cases we need to start from this profile only. You can see if we rotate this one, direction of extrusion, it is 3 options are available: one way, two way, and symmetric. One way means it will be extruded or depth will be provided on a specific direction. Two sides means it will be provided on both sides at different lengths. And symmetric means it will be provided on both sides with symmetric lengths, with equal lengths. Right? Suppose we are providing with symmetric side. That means it will be providing depth on both the sides. Now next one you can see measurement. Measurement means how much to be extruded. When it is considering symmetric one, you can provide half length. That means left hand side it will be having some length, on the other side also it will be having a half length. That means we need not provide the whole length of extrusion. Half length of extrusion is equal. If we select the whole length, that means on the left hand side and right hand side the total length will be provided here itself. As an example, suppose we have selected this one as whole length. Now suppose we are giving this one as a 50 millimeter. That means left hand side 25 and right hand side 25. Total length of extrusion is 50. If you are selecting the half length, that means left hand side also 50 millimeter and right hand side also 50 millimeter. Total length of extrusion is actually 100 millimeter. Okay. And also while performing this operation, we are creating a new body. Different options are available like joining, cutting, etc. That one can be shown later on. Right? Okay. This one is a new body. If we hit OK, then you can see this is the body available. Right? Even it can be extruded in a single direction. It can be extruded both sides with different length of extrusion. Okay. Right. Now see what are the different options available. We are having different options like modify. In modify we are having options like fillet, chamfer, etc. Fillet means it will be a round corner. Chamfer means it is a straight corner. Shell means it will provide some thickness to this one. Excluding that, we are having a lot of other options like scale, combine, offset, face, etc. A lot of options are available. Right? Let us provide a fillet at this location. So select that specific edges. By control, you can select multiple edges. We can rotate this one. 4 edges are selected. Now we can go for modification and apply here fillet. Now it is asking how much fillet radius is equal. Suppose we are providing the fillet radius as 5 millimeter. Right? See, 5 millimeter fillet is made. Right? Suppose you want to make a chamfer. That is also possible. Select that edge and from modify, apply chamfer. So chamfer actually here it is how much length of chamfer is equal, and equal distance means it will be 45 degrees. Even we can provide distance and angle also. Distance angle means how much degrees and how much length. So different options are available. Right? Let us select this one as equal distances. That means 45 degree, and we are providing the chamfer to be of length 2 millimeter. Okay. See, at these corners we have provided chamfer straight cut of 2 millimeter. Along X also, along Y also we have provided a chamfer. Right? Now suppose we want to create one hole at any specific location. So that hole can be obtained different ways. First option is we can create one circle and that can be extruded to remove material. This is one option. But one added advantage is some ready-made holes are also available. Even with the thread size also it is available. That can be done at any specific location. will show both the options, right? So first of all, we need to select that plane, and on that plane, we need to start sketching. And sketching will start from here, right? Now start sketching a circle. Suppose this is a circle, and diameter of this one is actually 25 millimeters. Suppose. Done. Now suppose you want to specify the location. What can you do is hit D to provide smart dimension. Now select the edge from here to this one. The distance will be 30 millimeter, and again this distance we can provide this one as 25 millimeter. As per our requirement, we can provide these distances, right? We have made this one. Now suppose you want to make a mirror of these things. So what you have to do is, first of all, you need to create one mirror line or construction line, right? So hit L as a shortcut for line, and you need to start sketching the line from here itself. Triangle means it is the middle point of that object. Now to make this one as construction line, select that line again and hit X. Now it is a construction line, right? We need to create the same object in the right hand side. So we need to start creating the mirror. Let us select mirror here itself, and it is asking to select the object. This is the object. You can see one object is selected. Now it is asking to select the mirror line, right? This is the mirror line. Okay, this object is made, right? So we made these circles at two specific locations, right? Now if you want to remove that material, what you have to do is we need to finish that sketch, and then we need to apply the extrusion. Extrusion means material can be provided or material can be removed, right? So we can start extrusion from here itself. Extrude. Now it is asking to select the profile. Let us select the profile. Both the profiles are selected. Now we can rotate this one to see the direction of extrusion. If you want to remove the material, it should be extruded in the negative direction, right? So what can you do? We have different options like distance or object or all. So what we will do is, first of all, we need to change the direction from here to the negative direction. From extend type, we can select all, right? It will cut material. You can see in operation it is cut. Okay, so two holes we made, right? With the easier options, we can create holes at these locations. How that can be made? We can create holes from here itself, right? Now it is asking to locate the hole. Let us select at this location we are making the hole. Now we have different options to make the hole, right? See here what are the different options available. You have to make a plain hole, so we need to select these things. This is a plain hole, and the diameter of this one is given 70. Let us make the diameter to be 20 millimeter, right? Now it is asking the reference line. That means we want to make this hole at a specific distance away from different locations. So we need to select the reference. Suppose this is the reference. From this one, we want to make the hole at a distance of 25 millimeter, right? 25. And again, we can select another reference, right? Select this reference as the second reference from here itself with respect to this line. Let this one be also 30 millimeter. Done. And also we need to change the extrusion length. So what we'll do is we can drag it down so it is a direct hole. Now we can change the diameter also as per our requirement, right? Suppose this one is 30 millimeter. Okay, the hole is made already, right? This is a ready-made hole, and it can be provided as per our requirement at any location, right? And suppose whenever we are doing something, everything is being stored here itself. This is known as timeline, right? All these things are available here. So this is a jumper, this is fillet, and this is the extruded material. Suppose you want to change anything anytime, that can be done from here itself with the history. Suppose the depth of extrusion is very high, we want to reduce this. So what we'll do is select that object from timeline, and with the right button of mouse, edit features. So it was extruded to a depth of 50 millimeter. We can make it small. Let us make this one is 30 millimeter. Okay, done. See, this is up to you only, right? If you want to make it more, it can be done again. So let us edit features, and when we extrude this one more, let the extrusion depth will be 100 millimeter. Okay, done. Now I want to show some other options. Like at the center of this one, we need to create one cylinder object, right? Directly that cylinder can be obtained from here itself. So what we will do is create different options are available, like extrude, revolve, sweep, loft, etc. Different options are available. We'll show this one by one. Let us select one cylinder. It is asking to select that specific surface. Suppose this is the surface, and we need to create the diameter of that cylinder. Let the diameter of the cylinder will be 50 millimeter. Enter. Now it is asking the depth of extrusion. Suppose the depth of extrusion will be 100 millimeter. Done. So we made this cylindrical portion. Now suppose at the top of this one we want to make one spherical object. So what we'll do is select that object and create sphere. Let us put the diameter of this one as 100 millimeter, and operation joining means it will be added with the previous body. New body means this will be a separate body. Let us consider this one as a new body. Okay, done. So we can see this is one body and this is the other body. Two different bodies are there, right? You can see two bodies are there. You can rotate this one to see different bodies. This is the first body and this is the second body. What we have to do is we can select both the bodies from here and combine the bodies from here itself. Combine. Okay, now this is a single body, you can see here, right? Suppose you want to make one object here itself. Let us select that space and start sketching on the surface. I want to make one rectangle. It will be center point rectangle. You can make anywhere else, right? We made this one, and we can put smart dimension to this one with a D. This one equal to 80 millimeter, and again this one can be 90 millimeter. We have provided both the dimensions, but the sketch is not fully defined because the color is blue. So we need to define the location of this one perfectly. From here to the extreme end, the distance should be provided. It is 100 millimeter. This is defined again. Now the distance of this one should be provided from some other location. This is 75 millimeter. Now see the sketch is fully defined, right? We can finish the sketch and that to be extruded to a specific depth, right? Starting with extrude, select that space to be extruded. Let us select the extrusion depth to be 25 millimeter. And in operation you can see this is join. Join means this will be added with the parent body, and if we consider this one as a new body, then it will be separate entity. Let us join this one. Okay, done. 10 already. The same thing we want to make on the other side, but with different extruded depth. So the option is we need to create the same thing again, and we need to extrude this one on the other side. If we make a mirror of this one with respect to a specific plane, then the similar object will be produced. But we want to produce this object with different depth of extrusion. In that case, what we have to do? With the help of projection, we need not draw this one again. We can bring the previous drawing on this surface, right? What we'll do is select that surface, and as a shortcut for projection, hit P. Now it is asking to select that previous geometry, right? Select these previous lines also. If you want, you can select the whole body. The option is here itself. If you select this one, you can select the whole body. Suppose you want to select some specific lines, that can be selected from this option, right? If you want to select this one, then you can select the specific lines, right? This line is selected, this line is also selected, this line and this line. All the 4 lines are selected on that specific surface. Okay, now let us see this one. You see, this is already projected, right? Now we can extrude this one as per our requirement. Even we can cut material inside this one also, right? Even if you want to produce something on this drawing, that also can be done, right? Finish the sketch and select that space, and we can extrude this one, or you can remove material also as per our requirement. Suppose we are removing material with a depth of 50 millimeter, and the operation is cut. If we are removing material, operation will be cut. Okay, done, right? This is the option. You can use the projection to reduce the time for drawing. Okay, next to that, we want to show some other options like revolve, sweep, loft, etc. Let us select this object and delete it. Now I want to show the option of revolve, right? Revolve means some specific profile will be there and that will be revolved with respect to some other axis, right? So starting with revolve, initially we need to start sketch on any specific plane. Suppose we are sketching on front plane. Now starting with line, as a shortcut we can hit L. We can make one line. This is a solid line. If we want to make this one a construction line, select the line again and hit X. Now it is a construction line, right? We can draw some arbitrary sketch. We have provided some profile. If we rotate this profile with respect to this axis, it will be some object, right? Let us see. We are not providing any kind of dimensions. This is to understand the features of revolution. So let us finish the sketch. Now we want to revolve this one. For revolution or revolve, we need to select that specific profile. The profile is already selected because this is in blue color. Now it is asking to select the axis, right? Let us select this one as the axis. Now how much to be revolved? This one can be revolved by 360 degree or by 180 degree or 360 degree as per our requirement. Suppose we are revolving this one by 360 degree. Okay, you can see this is the body, right? So revolve means we need to create one profile and that can be rotated with respect to some specific axis, right? Next to that, we need to show sweep and loft also, right? So undo this one. Let us create some arbitrary sketch on this front plane. Let us create a spline. The spline is made. We generated one path. Along this path, we need to create one profile, right? So at this surface, we need to create one perpendicular plane. First of all, we need to exit from the sketch. We provided this point on the front plane. Now we need to change the plane. On right plane, we need to start sketching, right? Let us create one polygon, circumscribed polygon. Made this one. Sketch is finished. Now we can finish it. So what we have done is we have created one path and at the end of this path we have created one profile, right? So with the option of sweep, we need to select that profile first. This is the profile and next to that we need to select the path. This is the path. You can see this is made. That means with respect to a specific path, we can provide any kind of profile. Okay. Let us cancel this one. Undo. Now I want to show some other options like loft. For lofting, actually, we need to create different planes, and on those different planes, we can create different sketches, and those sketches can be connected together. Right? Let us see this one. How to make it. First of all, on top plane, we are sketching something. Let us hit C to construct a circle of diameter 10 millimeter. Done. Sketch is finished. Now what we'll do is we'll create another plane from the top plane some distance away. So what we'll do is construct offset plane with respect to the previous top plane. We are creating another plane at a distance of 20 millimeter away. We are making another plane. Done. This is a second plane at a distance of 20 millimeter with respect to the first plane. Now on that plane again we will start sketching something. Let us draw another circle of a different diameter. Let us make the diameter to be 40 millimeter. Done. Sketch is finished. Now we created two different circles at two different planes. Let us create another plane at some distance away. So construct offset plane with respect to the first plane. Let us select the offset distance to be 50 millimeter. Okay, made. Now on this surface again we need to draw something. Select the plane and start sketching on that plane. Let us draw one circle again with a different diameter. Let us point the diameter to be 20 millimeter. Finish the sketch. Now what can we do is we can join these different sketches by using loft. Start with the smaller one, then the second one, now the third one, joined. So this is the profile we made. So with this one we'll show something else. Like suppose you want to make this one as a hollow one. What we'll do is modify and start with shell. Let us select the top face and the thickness of this one, let us make this one thickness to be 1 millimeter. Done. Right? If you want to make this one through, then you need to select the bottom surface also, right? So this is a hollow object, right? Let us undo this one. Now we are having different options like rev, box, cylinder, etc. We have already shown, right? We'll show the option of threading. Let us start sketching on front plane. We'll show some arbitrary sketch. Finish the sketch, and that to be revolved with respect to central axis. So revolve. Now selecting the central axis. This is revolved already, right? Now suppose you want to create some kind of thread on this surface. What you have to do is directly you can write thread on this surface, right? So create thread, select the surface. Now it is asking what type of profile we will make, right? Initially the thread is actually looking like a picture. Now if we make model, it will generate a model thread, and also we can select what type of thread it is. Different types of threads are available here, right? We can change this one. It may be right hand or left hand, anything else. Suppose we want to create the same type of thread on any specific hole, then you can remember this one and that can be put on that specific surface, right? And these are the basics of modeling, and 90% cases we need to follow basic commands only to generate objects or models, right? Now something else we want to show. Let us undo this. Suppose you want to make one solid cube, so create 2-point rectangle. We are making with any arbitrary dimensions, and you can provide a smart dimension to this one as per our recommend. Hit D to provide the dimensions of this one. Let us consider this one to be 100 millimeter, and this is 75 millimeter. The sketch is fully defined because it is with black color. Finish the sketch, and that to be extruded with a specific depth, right? Let us extrude this one, and we are extruding this one in one direction only. Let us consider the extruded depth to be 50 millimeter. You can see it. We made this object, right? Now the thing is, we have to write something on this surface, right? So what we'll do is select that surface and create text on this surface. Let us select the specific locations where we want to create this one. Let us write this one here itself. Autodesk Fusion, right? The font is a little bit bigger, so we can make it a little bit smaller also. Let us make this one with 8 millimeter. Now Autodesk Fusion is okay, right?
We can provide a video question on this one. Autodesk Fusion will be done, right?
Done. Now the thing is, we need to finish the sketch. We have written this one, but we need to emboss this one on the surface. It can be embossed or debossed, both can be done. Embossing means it will be exposed in the outside direction, and debossed means it will be exposed inside, right? So it will be started from modify, and you can create emboss. Actually we want to select this profile to be produced on this surface, so select that profile. Profile is selected. Now it is asking to provide this one on any specific surface, right? Select that face. It is asking the depth of this emboss. Let us provide the depth to be 5 millimeter. Okay, you can see it's done. Better to show this one on a different surface, right? Let us make one cylinder. Create cylinder. You can make it on top side. Where the diameter of this one is 100 millimeter. Enter. Now we need to drag this one in the upward direction by 100 millimeter. Done. Now on this surface we need to create some profile, right? So what we'll do is to select some specific plane. On that plane only we can write something that can be embossed or debossed on this surface, right? So what we'll do is we'll offset a plane with respect to this front plane, and it will be produced, suppose some distance over here itself. We want to write something on this plane, and that writing will be embossed on this surface, right? So a plane is created. Now on the plane, suppose you want to write something. Select that plane and create text on that plane. Start sketching, and let us write something on that plane. Autodesk Fusion. We have written this one, and we'll make this one centered. Okay, done. Let us exit from the sketch. Now the thing is, we have written something on a different plane, and that should be embossed on this cylindrical surface, right? For that, what we have to do is you can create emboss. Now it is asking to select that profile. This is the profile, it is selected. Now it is asking to select the face, on which face this one to be produced. Let us select the face. On this face we want to produce this, right? See, done. Now emboss means actually the object will be coming outward, and deboss means object will be going inside. Let us show here deboss, and in this case depth of extrusion will make it a little bit more. Instead of 5 we'll make this one 10. Okay, you can see metal is removed from this one in the form of sketch or what we have provided, right? Excluding that one, if you want to create some sketch or some images on the surface, that also can be done. That can be inserted from here, decal, and we can import it from the computers. Let us select this image. Now it is asking on which face to be this one to be attached. Let's select this face. Now we can orient this one also. We can change the direction also. Like while orientation, we can change it this way. Not only that one, we can scale it also as per our requirement, right? 90 degree. If you like, you can move it down also. You can place it at any specific location, right? Done. If you want to scale it, that is also possible. Suppose the thing inside this one, we want to see the cross section of this one, right? Before that, we need to make one hole on the surface, right? So what we'll do is create a hole and select the surface. On this surface, we want to create a hole, right? Done. One. Now the thing is, we want to see cross section of this one. How can it be seen? That can be seen from here, inspect and section analysis. We have to provide a specific plane. On that plane only we can cut it, right? What we'll do is we need to create a plane, construct offset plane with respect to this one, some distance away. We need to create that plane, right? Let us view it from right side. Now change the plane from here to here, right? So from the specific plane at a distance of minus 80 millimeter, we are creating another plane. Okay, done. This is the plane, right? Now with respect to this plane, we can find out the sectional view of this object. So inspect, sectional analysis, and this one is the cutting plane. Okay, see, this is the sectional view of this object, right? Whenever we created this sectional plane, we can see in the left hand side one analysis button has been added, right? And this is visible. If you want to go back to the previous model again, so what we'll do is we'll make this button off. See, the previous model is visible. Okay, now excluding this one, we want to show little bit of assemblies also here. So the assembly in Autodesk Fusion 360 is little bit different compared to the normal softwares. Actually, whatever we are following in SolidWorks, this is completely different. In these cases, we need not follow 3 different constraints. In these cases, we need to bring the different parts together, and with these parts, we need to assign some different types of joints, right? Suppose we are making different bodies here itself. Those bodies to be converted into different components, then those components can be assembled, right? This was a very small introduction of Autodesk Fusion 360. Next to that, we'll provide different basic examples to understand the basic features of Autodesk Inventor, right? So with this one, we'll conclude our basic introduction class. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you again. Bye. If you like this video, please subscribe and share. And if you have any kind of doubts, please write to me. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you again. Bye.